Good morning, everyone. How are you? I'm going to go straight into saying hi. And then we're a little bit early, but that's okay. No commercials today, commercial free. And you, everybody missed the commercial. Hi, everybody. Just a little bit early. How are you, Chesy? Good to see you. How's everybody? Mills, how are you? How are you? Come on in. We're just a minute early. Gary, Robin, good to see you. Pat, Shauna, hello. Good morning. Good morning. How is everybody? Good to see you. Tell Hugh we said hi, Gary. Where's Hugh? He's missing in action. Hey, Lisa. Good morning. Thanks, Pat. I'm okay. I need to. Okay. All right, Chesy. Prayers for Chesy in general, everybody. Better be late. Better be later. Good morning. Good morning. Oh my goodness. Has everybody invited everybody to come on in? Hey, Marianne, morning listening only, making sauce. And what kind of sauce? And why weren't we invited? And there goes my Facebook already. Hey, Huey. Good to see you. Facebook does not like me today. So they're closing me down already. Hey, Rhonda. Good to see you. You know you're having a good day when Facebook closes you down and you're doing something right, right? Spaghetti. Here, a morning hug. Yay! Morning hugs for everybody. All right. Let me go ahead and read a psalm, and then we'll get started. And we're going to, Psalm 98. Oh, sing to the Lord a new song, for he has done marvelous things. His right hand and his holy arm have gained him the victory. The Lord has made known his salvation. His righteousness he has revealed in the sight of the nations. He has remembered his mercy and his faithfulness in the house of Israel. All the ends of the earth have seen the salvation of our God. Shout joyfully to the Lord, all the earth. Break forth in song, rejoice, and sing praises. Sing to the Lord with the harp and the sound of a psalm. With trumpets and the sound of a horn, shout joyfully before the Lord the King. Let the sea roar in all its fullness, the world and those who dwell in it. Let the rivers clap their hands. Let the hills be joyful together before the Lord. For he is coming to judge the earth with righteousness. He shall judge the world and the peoples with equity. All right. Amen. Amen. So, I think I threw everybody off coming on early, but hopefully they'll catch up. Hey, Daniel. Good morning. Oh, you're doing the potty training for your grandchild. There, Rhonda. Good morning. Chicago Pops, how are you? Hey, Cully. Good to see you. Facebook has me not up and running. They don't like me today. So we'll just have to let it go. Let it go. Let me see if I can try to restart it. Not sure that I can. A lot of good news today, I think, in what I've seen so far. I think it's really good that we have information coming out of Project Veritas as well on what's really going on. Um, Wow. I tell you, Facebook. Facebook, why? Why, Facebook? Why? Why? But Project Veritas, I don't know if you haven't gone there and heard that yet, and what they have to say about shadow banning and really trying to stop our speech, our free speech, and a speech that isn't basically what they want us to be speaking, then you really need to go there and hear that, because it's pretty amazing, and it will make your blood boil. I have to tell you, as it should. Let me get this back up and see if I can get anybody in Facebook back in here. Why does Facebook do this? It doesn't do it for anybody else but me, right? It's not true, but I can say that. So we'll see if that happens. All right, shadow banning. That's right, Gary. The lines are being drawn for DACA. James O'Keefe is kicking butt and taking names. Yes, Pat, I think the lines are being drawn for DACA. And a couple of things. I don't know if you saw the video from Marsha Blackburn, who is basically a representative from Tennessee. She basically said, no amnesty. No amnesty. Hey, Carmen, secure the southern border, put 10,000 more agents there, and no amnesty. So For people I think who are very concerned about it and we're very nervous about that, I think that should be a good indication that at least the Republicans don't intend to fold on that issue. If you can believe her and what's coming from her, and if other people are feeling the same way. Um, so I think that's a really good sign. But I also know, as you probably have heard yesterday, the Democrats tried to thwart the efforts to, but well, Trump. Yeah, I know, Pat. That's. I think that Trump's probably in line with the Republicans, and the Republicans are in line with President Trump. Super Hearts, thank you, Carmen. And again, if you don't want to give Super Hearts, you can always go and donate at SusanKnowles.com. And where I would actually get the money, whereas with Super Hearts, I may never see a dime of it. Sorry, I had to talk to my husband on the phone. My whole family's now on antibiotics. Morgan also has an inhaler. She had fluid deep in her lungs. Praise God, I'm okay. Wow. Robin, I tell you, let's all pray for Robin's family that they all get better. Because they've had a lot of sickness there. Oh, you used them up. Okay, Carmen, good. So I'm getting the impression that President Trump and the Republicans are all on the same page. The Democrats, as I was starting to say, they yesterday tried to stop the debate on immigration by trying to shut down the meeting 3 times, and each time the Republicans had to take their time to vote on them not closing down. I mean, it's so ridiculous. Thanks, Carmen. Hey, Robin, did you see what happened at... I don't understand what that is. I'm not reading what you're writing there. Hey, Spencer, good morning. You're welcome for the prayers, Robin. Good morning, good morning. It's insane. I mean, but we knew they were going to do that. Did you send out an email yesterday? An email today? Are you talking... I don't know what you're talking about, Robin. What email? Great to hear you. Thank you, Missing Link. Glad that you're back. I think that the Democrats are going to try everything that they could do. Robin, yesterday I did post by Knowles on the News, if that's what you're talking about. That's on my Facebook timeline. You can also go to Spreaker.com and look up Susan Knowles at Stand for Truth Radio. Good morning, Lori. How are you? So I don't know. Could it possibly be that the president thinks nobody's going to get anything done as far as the Democrats, so there's nothing to worry about? No, I didn't see that, Tucker Carlson. I didn't see that last night. Hey, Lee, was anything good coming out of it? Anything said that we should know about? Yeah, I know BuzzFeed is trying to say that they're not responsible for the dossier and they shouldn't be sued, that it's still really an issue with the government and it hasn't been decided. So I don't know. I think BuzzFeed just knows that they're being sued and they're not happy about it, but that happens. Interesting, he's not backing down and says there is more to come out. Are you talking about the BuzzFeed guy is saying that, Pat? That there's more to come out? See, if I were BuzzFeed, I don't know what they should do at this point. I mean, they're pretty far in, so there's not too much they can do. Hello, numbers on Periscope. So, again... Hey, Barbara, good morning. Hey, Alexis. I think the Democrats are probably not going to talk too much about immigration. They're wanting to play games. Now, Louis Gohmert had an article. I don't know if you saw that. He wrote it on the Daily Caller. Let's be honest, what's truly on the Democrats' agenda toward America? Putting them back on the Obama path that we were on. I think that's their true agenda. Louis Gohmert said if Republicans again help pass an amnesty bill, no matter what the legislative or deceptive name it is given, without first securing the border and building a wall where it's needed, enough Republican voters will stay home next November and the majority will be surrendered to the Democrats. Yeah, I didn't see anything about that. Tucker speaks up for America. He is really hammering the illegals issue. Good. Big mess in NYC going down right now. New York DACA activist Robbie taken into custody by ICE. Democrats want a controlled handout society. Well, absolutely. The only way that elitists can survive is if they are controlling you. If you are smart enough to know what's best for you and you take responsibility for yourself, then the elitists are put out of business, and they don't like that. They have to control. Minus 15 degrees Fahrenheit in Canada today, where Gary is. That's cold. Global warming. There you go. So Gomert is saying that he's afraid that if that happens, that the new first order of business is going to be for Nancy Pelosi to ask for Congress to impeach the president. If the government owns you, they control you. They certainly do. Dems want to give freebies to get votes? Absolutely. And, I was reading something, too, that if this DACA goes through and they have a path to citizenship, then they're basically going to be competing with the millennials. So the millennials, ought to be concerned. However, many millennials are just kind of like, well, that's okay, we've got to share and get along and this, that, and the other. Maybe they won't be concerned. But the DACA people, they get affirmative action. They get, I would say, a step ahead of all the American citizens in line there, and in college, they do get affirmative action. California, they get money kind of like set aside to pay for different things that Californian taxpayers are paying for. They get financial aid and things of that nature. California is putting that aside, which is ridiculous. 77 degrees in South Florida, ducks flying objects. Oh, thank you, Susie, for the super hearts. So I think the millennials ought to be concerned and speaking out as well. No global warming for you there, Robin. Robin says we're under winter storm watch, 2 to 4 inches with ice coming. Ugh. Someone on Twitter said something, it's going away too quickly. Hubby job prayer crucial today. Okay, Rhonda, everybody pray for Rhonda and her husband's job and that things work out according to God's will. Hello, everyday Apple Pro. How are you? Good to see you again. Isn't your name Gabe? Is that right? Did I get that right? Hopefully I can remember people's names, but there's so many. But I'm good, you. Yes. Yay. All right, I got it. Very good, very good. Okay, so in some other news, again, maybe wake up the millennials and tell them they ought to be concerned about what's going on. Hey, David, how are you? In concerning with Dreamers. I just finished watching PV Part 2, UGG. Oh, Project Veritas Part 2. I know, it's ridiculous. We were talking about that at the very beginning. It's just amazing. Stuff just keeps going on. Praying for jobs still, God will provide. No, yeah. Robin said. Prayers going up, kids and jobs. Yes, everybody to be well. Hey, Base Texan, how are you? Good morning. Okay. Let's see some other information. I don't know if you heard about this yesterday. What is, yeah, I know it is very wrong, Susie. There's no justification for it. Hey, text Facebook, how are you? Text FB. Hey, Base Texan. Yesterday, more than a dozen 7-Eleven convenience stores in New York and Virginia were raided Monday by federal agents. 98 stores in 17 states, from California to Florida. Hey, Danielle. And they made about 21 arrests. But what they did is they arrested the employers. Millennial Calm, how are you? Having a great day. I was just talking about you. How long have you been rude? There, Jamie. And basically, I was saying that DACA will interfere with millennials, and they should be concerned about it because they're going to be vying for jobs, for affirmative action, and for college, things of that nature. Talking about you, well, no, I was talking about millennials in general. Good morning, Susie. Hey, Debbie, good to see you. Hey, Janie. CYA, Jamie, no room for that. And well, Jamie had to leave, Pat. See, when you're rude, you have to go. So he had to leave suddenly. I've seen that question over and over. Why people say that to people? It's so rude. It's also very rude to people who have that disorder, who truly do have it, and it's not funny, you know. So I don't know why people would be that rude. My generation is so lost, but I'm trying to wake them up. I know, millennial, you really have to do that because they really need to be woken up. I was saying that they would probably just go, "Oh, well, that's okay. We need to get along. We need to share, you know, whatever." But who knows? It's a new one, I guess. Yeah, that one's getting old. That's right, Barbara. Got to come up with something new. In the beginning, it was what's in your refrigerator. Now it's gone to even worse stuff. Um, so anyway, they arrested the employers at 7-Eleven to kind of send a signal to them that we're going to start going after the employers. They they fall for the emotional games every time. Yes, they do, millennial. Absolutely. And they've been taught to do that by society, by the public school system, by the Obama administration. As it is, but not surprise. All right. So the raids came with a lengthy investigation into human smuggling, identity theft, and money laundering. The Post reported. This is the Washington Post. Or Washington Times, I guess. The store owners who were arrested were alleged to have helped the workers into the United States, and guess where from? Can you say Pakistan? Go after employers who hire illegals. Yes. Yeah, 7-Eleven's been doing it for a very long time. I thought there were laws on the books about business owners hiring illegals. Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do. Like in California, we have workers that, many of them are illegal aliens that are standing on the side of the street that don't really work for anyone. I guess they're going to allow those people to continue. So I don't know what's going to happen there. Eventually they're going to have to get down to those people, and I think eventually what the government should do, they should start rounding up those people in sanctuary states. And when I mean those people, I'm talking about the mayors, the governors, and people like that who are breaking the law. Mississippi has tons of illegals working. INS came to a big barn I was at and verified all social security numbers of workers. Very good, Shauna. Restaurants and construction, yep. Did you see that they have a DACA rally in New York this morning? Somebody just said somebody got arrested there. Hey, Mark. Good to see you. I just went live. I tried to go live a while ago, but Facebook shut it down right away. The battles are just beginning, Pat, that's for sure. The inquiries into my job availability has skyrocketed, and so too the wage offerings for many since Trump won the election, Spencer said. No kidding. Yes, 7-Eleven does have a history of hiring illegals. Many Spanish-speaking workers had fake Social Security numbers and were picked up on the spot. And see, that's going to happen in California when they come and do that because, as one of our state leaders said here, even his family has fake Social Security numbers and fake IDs and stuff like that because they're here illegally. He said it, I didn't. So that will happen definitely. A lot of people are using fake Social Security numbers and somebody else's ID. My son worked second job at a convenience store during college. Boy, did he get an education at the store, Lori said. I bet. Has anyone been shadow banned yet? Susie, how would you know? You know? I want to come to the USA, but I don't know where are nice places in it. Well, everywhere is nice in the USA. Depends on what you want to come here for. Hey, Monica. Good morning. What is shadow banning? Well, it's basically when you're on Twitter or and you are putting out your tweets and really nobody's retweeting because they can't see you. It's basically Twitter banning you is what it is. You're still on, but nobody can see you. Yes, we did see that, Millennial. We were talking about that a few minutes ago. That's pretty amazing. Maybe that's why sometimes people tell me they can't see me on Twitter, that I've gone on a Periscope. So, Twitter is ridiculously biased, Pat said. Had that a lot. Yeah, I saw something else about Twitter. I don't know what to think about this, but this was on a website called Law and Crime. Supposedly an alt-right right-wing activist, is how they describe this person, Chuck Johnson, is suing Twitter for permanently banning him. Basically, he had asked people for money. There's supposedly a site that can test to see if you're shadow banned. I'm going to try to go there and see. He asked people for money to help him take out Ray McKesson, that BLM activist, and Twitter found no violations until McKesson went on CNN and called for the banning of this man. So those are the allegations. So he's suing Twitter over that. Oh no, I can't. Yeah, Slurpee. Wayne, no Slurpees for you today. No soup and no Slurpee. If you have been shadow banned, you will notice no one is reacting to your tweets. You know, Gary, it's really weird. I mean, is that everybody? Because people who know you react to your tweets and they see you, but other people, I think too, it's other people when they're not reacting, that's when you know you've been shadow banned. If the snowflakes can sue Trump for him blocking them, then we should be able to sue Twitter. Yeah, millennial. There's an article that was there yesterday. The attorney that's doing the lawsuits for Google. Let's just say that some people think that that's a good attorney to talk to. Hey, Alexis. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. Now, there's some other information. I'm going to try to give you some information today that is sort of off the beaten path that you're not going to hear, because I want you to know some of the things that are going on that you're not knowing. I have 3,000 followers and very few retweets. Wish I could blame shadow banning, Julia said. You know, Julia, I never see your stuff show up on my timeline at all. And a lot of people in here, I never see your stuff on my timeline. A lot of times. Put my name in there, show up on my timeline, I will retweet you. Shifting Current, good morning. And I think we should retweet. I can't say it. Retweet each other. Maybe that's why we can't do it. That's weird. I tweet a lot. I know, Julia. I don't see your name. Put my name in it and I'll retweet. I was shut down twice by Twitter, Susie said. Why? They don't like the tweet out. Yeah. I mean, you shouldn't be shut down by Twitter for anything. I mean, you know, I know that no one that comes in here is doing anything that is so egregious that they would be shut down. Hey, Gary, good to see you. Join DM groups on Twitter, great place to share tweets. And then I don't like the DM groups, millennial. I don't like that. I don't mind having conversations with people. I don't want to be in a group. I really don't. I've heard too many bad things and know about them personally. I don't want to be in a group. That's a direct message. It's the private message, Rhonda, that on Twitter. Have 700 followers on Twitter. Don't get a huge amount, Lee said. I have like 12,000 followers, and I don't get nearly as much as I know I should and what I used to get. I was in a group and was constantly getting messages. It was too much. Yeah, Robin, I don't want to be in a group. I was deemed too abusive, too conservative because I support Trump, Susie said. Wow. In a group and one person always trying to control it, Barbara said. I've been shut down by Twitter twice for sharing the news, Gary said. That happens to me on Facebook. I get in jail a lot in Facebook jail. That's what I thought. I don't like DM. I'm like Charlie Brown. I only get a rock. Aw, Pat, I recently broke 60,000 followers on Twitter and don't get much retweets either. It's ridiculous, millennials. Something has to be happening. Because years ago, before all of this started, and I've been on Twitter for a long, long time, I would get retweets all day long. I had to type your name into date and search to get here. I know, Wayne, it's ridiculous. Obviously, something's happening. Does it make a difference if it's an original tweet or sharing a tweet? I don't know. Does what make a difference? Donald Trump, the greatest president the United States will ever have. I don't know if it'll be ever have, but he certainly is the greatest president we've had so far. I would totally agree with that. I've gotten more in the past. It's strange. I know, Julia. It's really, you just don't know what they're doing. I just want a system where I can just go on there and know that what I'm doing is not being looked at and scrutinized and banned and whatever by somebody else. And, that's why I'm on Gab. And if you're not on Gab, you should really get on Gab. It's not as easy to use, but once you get used to it, it really does kind of work better. Also, let's see. I thought only the bigger accounts got censored. Not true anymore. No, I think if you're conservative, you're in trouble because they're watching you, and I'm talking about that across a lot of platforms. So you just have to kind of see what's going on. Look out for yourself. Get on Gab. Shut down only once for 12 hours. I never see your post, Susan. Monica, I don't understand why that is. Also, here's this. If you want to see my posts, please follow me on Twitter so that you will receive notifications. Get a notification, whatever you need to click on to get a notification. It's not easy. I joined Gab. I have an account too hard. Susie, you just have to keep working with it. If you have MAGA in your profile, you're screwed, Shauna said, for a lot of reasons there, probably Shauna. But I do send out a lot of tweets during the day. So if you don't like a lot of notifications, you probably don't want to follow the notifications. But a lot of what I do is send out breaking news. So if you want to get that, please do follow me and to get the notifications. Hey, Amanda, good to see you. So we're just talking a little bit about shadow banning, Project Veritas, protecting yourself, getting on Gab, things of that nature. I need to go to more timelines. Yeah. Nope, do not see a lot from you in a day. Then Barbara, please sign up for my notifications. Perry is liberal, made by immigrants, statement confirmed, dislike of Trump. Exactly, Dixie. I have MAGA on my profile. That explains it, Susie said. Gab raised over $1 million in under a month to continue building. I follow you, Susan. I never see your tweets. Get my notifications, Gary. Did you sign up for my notifications? I think that's different than following, I think. Yes, it is. You have to sign up for my notifications. I joined Gab a while ago, but have never used it. Robin, you should start using it. Your notifications are turned on. Gary, turn it off, turn it back on again. Nothing I tweet gets retweeted unless I tag someone, Carmen said. I only saw one of your tweets, Susie said. Follow me to get my notifications. So follow me and then push the button that says get my notifications. So, do that, and that way you'll get my notifications. I got notifications, but only get this one, Susan. I see a block coming. Yeah, hopefully it'll work. And everybody can help me in there, too, by blocking that one that just came in that was hideously disgusting. Hey, Marianne. I do have Gab. I don't trust Twitter. Amanda said. Definitely. Good grief. What a horrible name. Yes. Yes, Debbie. Robin. All right, so let me give you some more news here. This is from Newsweek. So again, kind of take it with a grain of salt. Jared Kushner, whose father was jailed, they had to mention that, will present President Trump with a plan to overhaul the prison system. They're talking about equip nonviolent prisoners with skills and opportunities needed for an honest second chance. Enlist business and religious groups to act as the mentors for released prisoners. A bipartisan issue, prison reform is, they say. Hey, Shannon. White House sees it as a strategy to reduce crime and to save taxpayer money. Earlier this month, bipartisan group of senators resurrected the Sentencing Reform and Corrections Act, which says that they give judges more authority to reduce mandatory minimum sentences and to select crime, and to require Federal Bureau of Prisoners to spend more money on programs to reduce reoffenders. Mitch McConnell was against that, kind of got that bill killed back then during the campaign because it didn't show that the GOP was tough on crime. Sessions also agrees with McConnell, but when Kushner is going to be presenting this to the president, supposedly, Jeff Sessions is going to be there as well. So, hey, Teresa, good to see you. I will now get notifications on my phone. Good, Monica. So I think one of the things about this prison reform, I think it's interesting, number one, that that Sessions owns. No, he doesn't. I don't think Phelan. That's just something you're creating in your own mind. But former President Obama really talked about prison reform, social justice, blah, 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 but did absolutely nothing to do anything to do prison reform at all. And now you have a President Trump who's looking into it to see if there's something that can be done. Now these other things in regards to reoffenders, those things don't work. Texas needs prison reform badly too. Reoffenders, if you look at juveniles and they have a lot of reoffender programs, they just don't work. They keep reoffending. Also, here's the one thing about prison reform. It's a little bit too late. Although it might help, it's too late. And by that, I mean we need to start in childhood. We need to go back to the ways of teaching children right from wrong, having mentors in childhood, programs that if children don't have moms or dads or a single parent, whatever the case may be, that's where you need to get the kids, not when they're in prison. Florida is talking about felons voting now. Wow, Cully. Misdemeanors for marijuana and death penalty for pedophiles, prison reform, Shannon said. Pills you in for life? I don't know what that means, Carmen. That's for nonviolent offenders, so what's the problem? Well, let's say in California, if you have a nonviolent drug offender, I don't know, people have died by people breaking into your home and trying to get money for drugs. So I look at things like that, where we talk about non-offenders, that I don't really see them as non-offender, violent non-offenders. I think you're crossing the line there somehow, and cannot fix a broken soul by sitting in prison. Yeah, we got to start at childhood. Yeah, consequences, Dixie. That would be good if we taught people that. The largest issue facing prison reform is that America has become very belligerent towards the idea of people having the right to put mistakes behind them. Well, Spencer, I think it's also that we've given people too much of a pass. I think that happens too, and then people don't want people to get out of prison because they feel that they're safer when they're in prison. In California, Jerry Brown practically let everybody out under the Obama program. Yeah, Ryan Bundy is talking about much needed changes to the prison system. Yeah, I mean it depends on what you're talking about. I'm for doing things better and getting a better outcome, but again, you got to catch the youth before they grow up and get into prison. That's what you could really do. If you really want prison reform, then start with the children. Some want to go back to prison, food in the bed. And Barbara, unfortunately, some people want to go, the tough on crime policy is very expensive. It's not so much being tough on crime. It's catching the children, catching the adolescents. That's where it should be. But a lot of people go back to prison because they know no other life. They don't have anything else, that they're familiar with. And it's a lot of time too why people go towards gang members. If they can't find that love and camaraderie and whatever at home, they go to gang members. A better economy allows more parents to stay home and instill morals. True, Shannon, that would help. More people resent the idea of law enforcement, feel entitled to lawlessness. That's true, Julia, as well. Brown reduced the punishment for crimes with a gun. Yeah, God. Don't even get me started on Jerry Brown. The youth need God in their lives. Exactly, millennial. And the parents who are teaching the youth need to have God in their lives too. Give people a chance to repay damages they cause, not just sit idle. Ben, I would agree with that. However, you can't just put people back out on the street without some type of rehabilitation. Because you've got to be taught things. We are in Susan's gang. Yeah. It's not a bad gang, though. It's not a violent one or a criminal one. Government is attempting to get God out of society, and we are seeing the results of that. Yeah, it's called communism, millennial. You can walk and chew gum at the same time. Yes, I can. Florida has... but I also think, Ben, if you're you have to rehabilitate people. You can't just turn them out of prison. Give them a second chance and expect them to know what to do, how to do it, and be successful. That's the problem. And if you get people early, you won't have the problem about prison. Prison will reform itself if you can get to the people earlier before they get to prison. That's what we're missing. We're trying to put a Band-Aid on something when you need to go directly to the problem and start there at the root. The FBI ensnares low IQ people seeking validation into the terrorist schemes they would have never acted on had the FBI not created them. Well, I don't call Flynn low IQ, and he got hooked in by the FBI. So you can let a dog out of a cage and expect to know how to act. Yeah, it's parenting, and if there aren't parents, your husband is a retired warden. Wow, Susie. Parenting and a lot of parents, and again, I've seen parents who say to me, I can't believe my kid acted like that. And I'll say to them, well, what did you teach them about that? Well, nothing, but they ought to know better. No, they don't know better. That's why they have parents. That's why they need for you to tell them what to do. The world needs more God and Jesus. Absolutely, Shannon. Absolutely. And we need, again, a lot of parents who are raising children do not have God in their lives. How can they raise their children to have God in their lives when they themselves don't have it? Flynn lied. He should have known better. So too, Scooter Libby. Yeah, but did Flynn really lie? Or in some of it, Spencer, it was like one word and they got him on that. So hard for single mothers to be everywhere. And that's why I say, Dixie, we need programs for children who don't have the parents at home and parents that are working. And it's not, the fault of the mother. It's not the fault of the father. But we have got to be able to keep those children in a Christ-centered path. Government incentives to having children that parents can't support. Yes, true. Parents should know if a kid is on drugs. And Cully, they don't. A lot of parents won't even ask their kids anything or watch them or look at their rooms or anything. Sixth Amendment needs to be followed. It's a right specifically for the accused. I read the newest trend on video for kids are eating laundry pods. Yeah, it is, Joyce. What they're doing is they're taking the pods. It's like the ones that you see for your dishwasher. I guess Tide has them or whatever. They will put them in their mouths and watch them squirt out. Some of them will actually eat them, and you could die. What can I say? Too many fathers not in their lives of kids. That's true. And of course, you can burn your throat. It's poisonous. I mean, you shouldn't put that in your mouth. Now, I saw yesterday where Tide is saying, oh my gosh, we got to do something about that. So what did they do? They're making it where now what you look into, what the container, that you can't see into it. Yeah, it's like eating a lie almost, yes. And so you can't see into it, and they're putting like a sort of a child safety lock on it. Okay, newsflash, Tide, it's not the small kids who are eating it. It's the teenagers, which once again says to me, yeah, so much wash your mouth, that was so. Yes, we all support Trump. It says to me that you have a child with too much time on their hands and a child who needs to be supervised and a child who wasn't taught how to act properly, okay? Meaning how to protect themselves, how to not do things that are stupid like that. If you could retweet, we're beyond the halfway point. If you could do that, that'd be great. No warning labels for that kind of stupidity. There's not. I mean, again, if your child is doing that, then you have a problem. You haven't taught them well. You need to supervise them more. I mean, that's all there is to it. They're pods like, for Tide, Danielle, that you see in the Tide box for laundry. It's detergent. It's what it is. It's in the shape of a pod. They're eating that. They're squirting it. They're challenging each other. Maybe we need some government legislation. I know. Can you believe that? I mean, my gosh. Can't expect the government to clean up your kids. And nor should the government have anything to do with it. The teenagers, their parents should do something about it. Plastic packs. That's right. Teen Duh can't child-proof them. Exactly, Monica. Natural selection at work. Well, Ben, I think what happens is, again, parents need to know what their kids are doing. When I was growing up, both of my parents worked because they had to. And one of the things that I had, lucky at the time to have, that my grandparents At least one grandparent was home. They both worked too. My grandparents worked too. We were a poor family. We didn't have, people handing us money hand over fist. We at least had one person home with us who was a relative at all times. That was good. And also, I mean, we were just raised to use our brains and to think before we acted. And if we got out of line, our neighbors told our parents that we were out of line and we got punishment for it. And I'm not talking a talking to, I'm talking a little bit something more severe that would not be allowed these days. Yes, I always know where my children are. You have to know as a parent. You do. You absolutely need to know, Robin. And so these days, if your neighbor tells on your kid, you're going to have the parents screaming at the neighbors for telling on the kids. Parents can't anticipate all the crazy games teens come up with. No, they can't, Julia, but they have to do their best. And I'm not sure that people are doing their best anymore. Some because they can't. Peachtree switch, there you go. With the leaves off of it. How lame do you have to be to have your detergent measured out? I know, Alexis, but I had to pick out my own switch to get whooped up and needed to be a good adult one day. Yes, Shannon, I had to pick my own switch too. My mother would get the ones that were very flexible. I agree with you 100%, Susan. Those really were the good old days. They were, Robin. They were sensible and they were biblically based. That's why they worked. Hey, Hassan, good to see you. It is biblical. And now we don't want to do that. It's Bible? What's that? I remember those switches. Ouch, Monica said. I think in my life, I probably had, I don't know, maybe 5 times in my life that a switch was used on me. And guess what? That's all I needed. Yep. Oh, we might hurt them, Barbara said. Yep. When we get in trouble at school, it really was our fault and my parents knew it. Yes, Robin. How can we help those that aren't parented? They are out there. Dixie, that's, unfortunately, we've got to have programs. And I don't mean your mom loved the fly swatter. Yep. Mom USA. Everybody kind of remembers that. I think we need more church involvement, more community involvement, not government, more community, churches and that type of thing that will have programs that will help children. And it's also a matter of getting the parents to bring the kids there or somehow getting the kids there. My mother whipped me. That's why I'm a better person today. Never been in trouble. I knew better than to get in trouble. They were doing cinnamon challenge and choking it and inhaling. Oh, God, so ridiculous. The president is the greatest ever. Yes, he is. I think the only thing that I ever did in school was, remember the glue? Did anybody eat glue? Yours was only 5 times a day. Well, Wayne, maybe you were having a little bit of difficulty understanding that you were in trouble. The president is so wise and articulate. Yes, he is. So did anybody eat the glue? You did? Okay, Amanda. I think I tried it once because that was the big challenge. Yeah, a long time ago. Not the same as today. Not Elmer's glue. It was more of a paste. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. I know it was disgusting. I tasted it once, and that was it. Never would have eaten the glue. Yeah, Lori. President is not wasting taxpayer money or never has. No, he's not. And I don't know if anybody else with cigarette smoking, things of that nature. I tried a cigarette one time at age 9 with my brothers. We didn't know it, but my grandfather was watching us down below. He was on the deck of the house, and he was watching us. And we were choking, coughing, practically throwing up. Last time we ever smoked a cigarette. That's it. Took one time. I was 9 years old. I was a hard-headed kid, always got my butt kicked, Susie said. It's called hodgepodge. Picked up cigarette butts from the floor, Lee said. Oh. I'm glad my grandfather let us do that, to let us, reap sow what we reap, reap what we sow. By age 10, I knew better than to be bad, Monica said. Cigarettes are so gross. I don't know how people do that. You used to pick our skin with a pin. Oh! I never did that. I don't get into those things that hurt. That's a little bit too much. Cigarettes are healthy. Oh no, they're not. Yeah, I've tried everything, but never was a follower. Yeah, Susie, and I think unfortunately, that happens a lot. Kids today, you got beaten a lot. That's not good, Danielle. Too many helicopter parents hovering over their kids too. Sometimes we had to learn the hard way. Yeah, it's a little bit more dangerous these days. But what I was going to say, kids a lot. If you have kids who in school, like you have kids who are cutting themselves, a lot of times kids will go along with that and start cutting so that they can be sort of in the same group with the other kids. They can show them that they are supporting them. So it's a little bit different today. I mean, before, Barbara, when you said that you would scratch your skin or whatever with pins, it's so far beyond that today. Ew, I know, Daniel. I'm so up in my son's business. Yeah, Shannon said, I never understood the cutting. Well, Teresa, sort of in general, let me tell you what cutting is about. It relieves the pain that they're feeling. So let's say, for example, a child who is physically abused might cut themselves because that pain, it gives them a release from the pain that they feel from the abuse that they're getting. And I know it sounds a little ridiculous, like, well, how can that be? But it actually does. It releases their pain. It's a way to do it. They don't have a release from the physical pain, so that it's just a way to kind of feel the pain and sort of release it. Satanic cutting. Oh, I thought it was for attention. Nope. Dixie, it's a very serious thing. Mom was pretty cool, laid back. She never hit me. I turned out okay, I think. Good. She was told by classmates would help with anxiety from bullying. Cutting is choosing physical pain over mental anguish. There you go, Shannon. Oh no, that is terrible. If they're having so much pain, it's a lot of pain. I've had clients that were sent to me, and I'm not exaggerating this one bit. A teenager, young teenager, and his parent came into my office, and I asked, why they were here and what can I do for them. And so the adult says to the teenager, show her. And the male teenager lifted up his shirt. And I'm not exaggerating when I tell you this. It was like looking at the Passion of the Christ. I had never seen so many cuts in all of my life. And he had just gotten out of a psych ward. And yeah, I don't even... He'd done that with razor blades and all that. I mean, you have to be in some serious pain. Yes, very bad. It was so heart-wrenching to see that. And I've treated a lot of teenagers who are cutters. And it's a very, very serious thing. If you know of anybody who is cutting, or your relatives or somebody else, take it seriously. Confront the parents about it. Talk to them about it. Get them help. I would have to adopt every kid. I know, Robin. It was good for me that I wasn't a parent, because I became almost like, the therapist who could really pay close attention to those teenagers, because I wasn't a parent, didn't have my own kids. Some of the offenders have grown up in horrible situations. Yes, Dixie, absolutely. It would break your heart too much. Yes, Barbara, it really was, as you know, very sad. At-risk kids, to be able to treat them, to me, I loved treating the kids that nobody else wanted, that everybody else, you're making me cry now, Robin, that everybody else said, I don't want them, basically like throw them away. Those are the kids. Yep. Do you watch the Fosters? No, I don't. Thank you, Barbara. Robin says she prays for children who go through these things. Foster homes can be abusive. Yes, very much so. Thanks, Shauna. Yeah, I know. The thing of it is, people look at teenagers like that, but cutting is also cultural. Well, it could be, Alexis, but not for, like, so much so in the United States. And it's a different, I'm sure it's a different type of cutting or whatever. Thanks, Danielle. To me, kids like that are very special because they're brought into this world and they're mistreated and they don't have a say in it. And, God forbid that anybody would hurt a child. And you'll find that most of those kids are the kids with the biggest hearts. They really are. Thanks, Carmen. Whoa, didn't mean to cry on Thursday. God bless you. My heart is aching. I would have helped those kids. I know. That's why I don't like it when people say, stay away from negative people. They need the most help. Well, Julia, I can understand. Yeah, some people do that need a lot of help in the negative, but you have to be careful too. God does have a special place for those hurt children. I personally don't know how anybody could hurt a child or an animal. Something I've never been able to understand. I mean, I do get it, but I don't understand it. How did you keep your composure when treating them? Shauna, a lot of it was praying to God to direct what I would say and how I would approach them. And they needed me, and I maintained my composure because I knew that I could be that person that in their life that listened to them, respected them, cared about them, and showed them that I cared. And so I kept my composure. Pain is real. Yep. Anybody comes to California wants to have coffee, let's do that sometime. That would be great. You have to be very strong to do that. I'd be a mess. Yeah, you do. You have to be able to sort of compartmentalize things as things are going on. I've sat with kids where I've gotten to know them well, and checking flights. There you go. Yeah, San Diego. I've met with people, kids sitting in front of me that I could look at them and tell they were in trouble and tell that they were ODing right in front of me. And their parents sent them to school, sent them to, because I would see them in school, and would send them to school like that, not even noticing. And that's heartbreaking too. And, I've had to call an ambulance, had to call 911 for a couple of my clients that nobody noticed. Nobody noticed that they were ODing. I mean, I don't know how that happens. I don't. Coffee, bed bugs, and lefties sounds like fun, Gary said. Thank you, Robin. Are you the only conservative left in coastal California? I think so, Maga. I think so. Well, I'd have to have a closet to cry in. Robin, you have to have, Lakeside. Oh, nice. Del Suro. Yep. I know where that's at, Susie. We should plan a Knowles crew meetup. That would be great, Barbara. I'd love that. Everybody just come to California. We'll meet up. Maybe we'll meet at a winery or something. And we don't have to have wine, but we can meet, for those who want to have wine, we'll meet somewhere. It is heartbreaking to peek inside some of troubled youth's home life. It is, Dixie, because a lot of people, they do think that they are just troublemakers, that they want to act out, that they're just mean, and they're not. I mean, and I hate to use this analogy, but you kick a dog enough times, and pretty soon that dog may try to strike back, and hopefully would if somebody was abusing them. But I'm just saying, kids, just put yourself in their place for 5 minutes on what it's like maybe to go home and be sexually abused, sexually assaulted, and then come to school and somebody say, okay, let's learn math today. I don't think math is going to matter all that much to you. Just saying. And I had to remind teachers of that fact too, because again, they're there to teach, and so they don't see it that way. My sister was an addict, and kids went to foster care. I've been to the foster care buildings, and I'll tell you what, not a good place. I've seen some kids, I've treated some kids in the foster care system at a foster care facility, and it's not good. It's not what you think. North Dakota motto: the cold keeps the riffraff out. That's why I ask if you watch The Fosters. It addresses so many problems. Yeah, I know a lot about the foster system. I've done a lot of research on the foster system and everything else. So watching a program, I don't, that's not something I want to do. I've kind of lived it with them. I don't need to, and I've seen at-risk kids so angry that they've literally, in front of me, put their fists through a glass door. So I mean, you talk about pain. That's deep pain, and you have to teach them how to have appropriate behaviors and how to appropriately release that anger. But you think about it, if nobody's teaching them that, how are they going to do? How are they going to learn? Trial and error, somebody beating them up or whatever. I mean, it's just it's horrific. But anyway, I don't know how we got on that and not on the news. Yeah, I know. Yeah. All right, get back to the news. Here's some more information. You think Trump will be more liberal without Bannon? I don't know, John. We'll wait and see. So far, he doesn't. There's always rumors about him being liberal. It never turns out to be true. Thanks, Robin. And we are back at many ending up in prison. Yes, exactly. Right where we started, Carmen. Here's another thing. Now, again, put yourself in these kids' places. Police have arrested 4 people and are looking for 6 more on charges that they use slave labor as young as 9 years old to run fish markets in Fayetteville. If you still have your Christmas tree, return it to Costco and get your money back. Okay, Cully. So that's pretty incredible. The stats on foster kids are horrible. There are a lot of foster kids who are missing, and they have no idea where they are. And where do you think they are? The number of unemployment recipients fell to a 44-year low. A woman did that, Susan. Yeah, I know, Shauna. Um, Fell to a 44-year low, the U.S. Department of Labor said. Let's see, last week of December, 1.87 million received unemployment benefits, the lowest seasonally adjusted mark since December 1973. I'm so glad Susan directed me to Susan. Oh, God directed me to Susan's broadcast. Thank you, Robin. Nice thing to say. Socialism is for those who refuse to compete in a capitalist economy. Yes. He said, I will sign the DACA bill no matter. Yeah, but John, don't read it. Don't read it so black and white. How can you help as far as what, 200? Help in which way? Bannon resigned from his Breitbart job. Yes, he did. Please share and invite. Thank you. Socialism is bad. Thank you for your service to the kids, Susan. You're welcome, Wayne. Hats off to Walmart. Yep. Please keep Hassan's uncle in prayer. He's found out one of his uncles, currently living in Stockholm, has had a stroke. Please, everybody, pray for Hassan's uncle. We will be praying for him, Hassan. Thank you for letting us know that. So that's really great news. Yeah, Bannon. I still have some questions about the whole Bannon thing. I don't know what happened. In a lot of respects, Shauna is sending prayers. Hassan, other people are praying for your uncle as well. With Bannon, it's almost like he needed the attention, and but something just doesn't add up. I don't know. Just doesn't add up. Maybe he burned himself out. I don't know. Do they stay? They've already been told, John, that they have to leave in 18 months. The Salvadorans. So do I, Susan? Could it all be employed? I know. I don't know. And I heard Lee yesterday in one of his scopes say that Bannon is independently wealthy. So Bannon didn't need any of the jobs. And Breitbart is saying we're not going to replace him because Breitbart's doing well without him. They did fine with him without him, and probably some of their best work while he was in the White House. Bannon's ego got the most of him after his guy lost the Bama race. Yeah, I agree with that, Shannon, but I also just think about there's something going on about Bannon that I just don't, thanks to Gorka. Until Moore lost, Bannon thought there was a reason Trump won. And I believe that partially, but I think there's even more to it than that. I don't know. Hey, Wendell, we're just getting ready to finish up. Bannon's a multimillionaire. He's ex-Goldman Sachs. Yes, he is. Thanks, Susan, for another great scope. Everyone have a wonderful day. Blessed day. See you tomorrow. All right, Chicago Pops, thank you so much. So thanks, everybody, for being here. We're past the hour, and I appreciate your coming in today. God bless you. Thank you, Lee. Thanks, everybody. I'll see you again tomorrow. Have a great day, you guys. God bless. YouTube, thanks so much. God bless you. See you again tomorrow.